Welcome to ShiftWatch. I'm your host, Starbuck. In this week's episode, Sheila Tillich invited me to sit down with her this week while we were making preparations for July in Mount Shasta. I began by reflecting on the realization of past lives being triggered by energetic shifts that are taking place. I go on to describe experiencing Mount Shasta physical energies and how I ended up staying 5 weeks the first visit. I also mention the ease of finding these higher vibration areas year over year. Next, the EarthMaster brings us an update of increasing swarms of daily tremor activity along the West Coast, reaching record levels with hundreds per day, day after day. And an undersea volcano is gearing to erupt off the Oregon coast. Then I pulled this earlier episode with Dave Wallace, educating us on protocols for communicating with beyond Earth sentience because more and more contact is being reported within our tribe. And finally, I'm sharing a bit more of the August 2022 transmission with Yedyamya for a few synchronistic reasons that should get your attention. At the time, we were reestablishing energies between Mount Shasta and Lake Titicaca when this took place. It's another clearing example in preparation for the shift in Earth's consciousness, which will be more appropriate to refer to as Lake Principle 40 moving forward. What's also interesting about this transmission's message is the timing of it. It clearly spells out a 2-year window to accomplish what we can. That was 2 years ago. Well, we're going to go down a rabbit hole a little bit. So I want to just frame this in for your listeners.
Okay.
And it goes like this. If you don't really believe in reincarnation, then you're going to have trouble following where I'm going to take you. What I can tell you, and what most of you, I believe, already sense, and some of you just already, I know it, is we've had lots of past lives, lots of them. We just have forgotten them through every incarnation. But now, for whatever reason, I see not just me, I see a lot of people around me coming into terms with all of this. So there's some other energetic shift taking place that's a topic for another day. So we'll just stay on topic here.
That's what I talk about, the old energy, the new energy, and why is it different? And kind of get in the middle of why is it different now? So go ahead. Sorry.
Well, so I'm going to experience the physical energy on the mountain. And for 2 weeks, I won't realize what it is. The original plan was to go there for a week, explore it, and then I was going to connect with my son, maybe go to Tahoe or Reno, and just let's get out. We're tired of being in the house. At the end of the first week, I hadn't explored all the places I wanted to, and I hadn't gone to the same place twice. So I reached out to him and I said, I feel like staying another week. Do you mind? He said, no, if you're having fun, stay there. Well, before the story is over, I will have stayed 5 weeks before I went back to Santa Rosa. And I only left because I had to. Otherwise, man, had I found a groove there that I didn't want to leave. So the second week will be the day that the palpability of this energy comes into focus. I'm at the same place I like to start most of my hikes from, at a place called Old Ski Bowl Trailhead. And there's another older couple about my age that are there, and they're taking their last looks at the place before they're getting ready to leave. Well, I can overhear them remarking on the energy that they felt, because they were hiking like teenagers too. I had seen them. And that's when it occurred to me, holy crap, I've been hiking like a 20-year-old every day, day after day. Elevation changes. I should have required a day in between at my age just for my body to catch up. Yeah. And I didn't need it. That was the day that I would sense this energy that's there on the mountain that is palpable. Exactly. You can feel it. And every year I've been there, it just gets more intense. and these energetic spots that I saw when I went there the first time. Because that's what I realized I was really seeking out when I was out in the forest. I wasn't really looking for anybody, although it occurred to me that ascended masters wandered these forests, and Saint Germain certainly exchanged information with Guy Ballard back in the 30s. So you can't rule it out. That wasn't on my radar at all. I just like to go off trail where no one else has gone and explore what energy there is to be found. And I was never disappointed. Now, every year I went back, it seemed like those energetic areas were easier to find, and they didn't seem to be so secret anymore. Well, there's a reason for that too. And with all these energetic changes that are taking place, these energetic places are making it easier for people to find them, so that
Right.
when the time comes that they need to seek this space out for the reasons they'll understand later, they'll know where it is, and they'll have already ethereally been in touch with it. You feel what it is.
Hey, what's going on there, folks? Welcome back here to a Tuesday night. It is the EarthMaster here, about 8:21 p.m. California time, June 25th, 2024. Latest activity here shows some movement on the west coast here, the Big Island of Hawaii, with a 3.2 earthquake coming in about 44 kilometers deep here on the west side. Over here across the Kilauea volcano, really nothing of major change here yet. Still seeing some inflation going on, and of course, kind of watching that for sure. Down in Southern California, got a couple small earthquakes here just around the Salton City area down in the extreme southern end of California. San Jacinto Fault Zone showing some activity tonight as well. Also a couple smaller quakes scattered out and about through the Los Angeles area. We also did have some movement here on the creeping section of the San Andreas Fault here, a 3.2 coming in this afternoon. Bay Area, aside from some smaller quakes there, really not a whole lot going on. Over here along the Cascadia subduction zone, a 3.0 coming in earlier. A real quick glance here at the tremor map here tonight along the Cascadia shows 342 epicenters of tremor here across the Cascadia subduction zone area. I want to share a little article here with you guys real quick that was put out about a undersea volcano, well, seamount, right? Way out there in the Pacific, just off the Oregon coast here. The axial seamount is located about 300 miles west of Astoria, Oregon, and a mile under the ocean. It has erupted 3 times in the recent past 25 years here, and it looks like it's starting to gear up again in terms of inflation going on. Now, this is not a volcano that's going to produce a mega displacement of water. This is basically something that's just going to spill over a little bit and create some new seafloor with some lava underneath the ocean there. But I'll leave this article here for you guys to check out. It's a ways out there, and if you look, this is the axial seamount located here in a region that sees the separation of the seafloor. This is a divergent boundary out here on the north of the Blanco fracture zone here. So this is way out there. There's numerous seamounts, but it is an interesting article to take note of and to read if you guys got a few minutes. I'll leave that in the description video of this update. Looking out and about further across the states here, general movement across Texas, really nothing major going on across the eastern portion of the country. And down on the extreme southern end here of the globe, 5-pointer coming in from late last night. Also another earthquake there this morning, 5.0 in the Falkland Islands area. That is well west here of the subduction zone, but we have been seeing quite a bit of subduction zone activity here across the South Sandwich Trench. And of course, that's adding some further strain upstream here across this area. We'll continue to watch that. We could be seeing some activity along this segment here in the near future as well. Over here across the Andaman Sea area, a couple smaller earthquakes, including a 5.7 here in the Bay of Bengal area, just prior to the subduction zone. Keep an eye on this area. Definitely haven't really seen a whole lot of movement up here recently, but I'm sure it's getting primed for some decent-sized earthquake activity. And one earthquake way up north, around the Jane Mayen area. Well, north of Iceland, a 4.1 coming in earlier this evening as well. Quick look at the space weather activity. Notice that we're dipping down into the sea flare category. Currently flaring with a C 2.1. Not a big deal. We do have a bunch of sunspots out here, a mess of them, I would say. And there's 3697, 3664, now 3723 out here. Looking a little disorganized here. Still showing some interesting development here on this side of that sunspot. But we'll keep an eye on it. It's been evolving and degrading and evolving and just doing its thing here for 3 trips around the sun. This is the 3rd time we're looking at the this giant sunspot here on the Earth-facing side of the sun. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. Overall threat has dropped, though. 5% chance for X flare, M flare at 55% chance, and C flare around 99% chance or so.
As a Taurus ambassador, my role is to help people understand what's going on with beyond Earth sentience. And we're all seeing things in the sky more than ever. And there's more information about beyond Earth sentience available on just about every social media platform now than ever before. And part of my role as an ambassador, because they sat me down when I was with Kim Jim before we left the ship, he sat me down and said, are you able to accept this responsibility? And do you know what I'm talking about? Because, you know, everything about my life changed. And it's a little different for me because I have photographs of beautiful species that have come into my home, and I have relationships with them as friends. And it's not scary at all. It was a little alarming when it first started, but Kim Jim took away my fear of flight response that very moment when we sat together in the tent. He put his hand on the back of my head, on the nape of my neck, and whoosh, away went all of my past preconceived notions about reality, all of my pain and all of my past life pain. He had removed all of it and explained to me everything there was that I could cognate and understand about human emotional chemistry and how our emotions dictate our decision-making processes because of our evolutionary placement. In some years from now, when people start to consider having a dialogue with their own mind, and when people start to decide to have higher cognitive value systems and functions, then they will concentrate on and focus on the different regions of their brain, their limbic system, not just things like the pituitary gland. And it's all wonderful going straight for the first chakra, but it's really important to understand the functions of your mind and how your whole mind ensconces your pituitary gland so that you can use that as your third eye. I'm not going to get into this big discussion about the functions of the third eye. It's not what I do. What I do is I translate both technology, languages, and specific ideology patterns and hopes and wishes from different species. I only work with a couple, and I don't know them very well. Kim Jim comes to me once every 2 years on the anniversary that he collected me and took me away. And right now, the last visit was very short, and his ship showed up, and I'm going to re-show his ship because I was so excited that period between February 2nd and February 10th of this year when the big ships came in, and I called you right away and sent you a bunch of photographs because it's a lot for people to handle. So I have no caveat. If you're predisposed to having a religious base, or if you believe that your life is going to be one of rote egocentrism, then this information is not for you. As a Taurus ambassador, I'm looking for human beings that are altruistic, people who understand reality, people who want to be happy-go-lucky all the time and do the right thing with all of their time, to not waste the time that we have and spend our lives in immediate service, not to just think about being in service. So immediate service causes a change of all the people around us when we start to be our altruistic self. So the gifts they gave me were to be able to cognate what the function of my reality is, to understand what my role is in reality, They gave me the opportunity to be the other person and to be the better person. And I'm not sitting on some plinth. Dear Mary Rodwell in Australia has a young man that she works with who has direct contact going on all the time. She's been helping him translate his experience. Mary is an ambassador to extraterrestrial species, to beyond Earth sentience of the highest nth. So is James Gilliland. So are you, because of your contact at Talos. There's others that don't want me to mention their name, but believe me, they're not on the History Channel, you see, because these shocking, real, unbelievably beautiful experiences come to people when you really want them or when you really need them, or sometimes both.
You know, I can't remember how much we've discussed in our in our interactions that have been quite brief, actually, and very intense. But I was listening when I was listening yesterday. You were talking about how we're in this new place. I believe this is what you're saying. This is what I got out of it. So we're in this new place in the universe, in this photonic belt, right? And so the energies that we're receiving are much more intense, much more strong, and that it's all about the Earth's ascension. It really has nothing to do with humanity. We're just kind of going along for the ride if we choose to do so. But what's coming to really what's been called the solar flash, and you were talking about it being some sort of energy. I wasn't able to catch a hold of all of that because I was actually doing a few things at the same time. I was listening to the podcast, trying to multitask. But I was told when I was in Shasta that on solstice we had this huge thing happening, and I was told that I was here to help awaken the kundalini of the planet, the ancient technologies, awaken them, and that I had 2 years to go to as many places around the world as possible to do this, so that when this huge energy comes in, which I wasn't told it was a solar flash, but that's what I saw, that the Earth would be the most open to receive it with the least amount of damage, right, through the physical body of the Earth. And then I was guided to leave. When I left Shasta, I was guided to go to Taos area, New Mexico, to the specific location, specific lake, and the specific alignment. And then once I got my little star map out, my star app on my phone, and looked, like 7 planets were in complete alignment, like in the complete line above. And I ended up channeling the Great Central Sun, and the message came through. It was so strong. And it was like, it's the work that's needed because this energy is coming through. Like, I'm bringing this energy through to assist the planet in its ascension, but all of this needs to happen beforehand so that it's as smooth as possible, right? And it was just like the energy I felt, the feeling I felt of the importance of it, how this has to happen. And like, this is all meant to be, and this and stuff. It was so strong. It's what propelled me. I just go, okay, I know this is what I have to do, And so when I was listening to you, I was like, oh my God, that's it. And I was told I have 2 years. We have 2 years. Is that kind of your time frame?
That somebody, I want to say 2 days ago, in my opinion, this shit could happen tomorrow as far as I know. But somebody else mentioned this window, and she asked me, how do you feel? Because something has resonated with me that this is going to happen sometime between now and 2022 and 2024. That matches exactly what you're telling me. So I resonate with, it's around the corner. And every time we talk about planning something into the future, half of me says, we're never going to get there for that. And then the other part says, no, these are steps that need to be taken prior. I can see that all of this is setting a foundation for us to not change people's minds. Frankly, too late for that. But the rest of us that are awake, we're going to try and wake you up as quickly as we can. And that's why more people are coming around to this.